Right, folks, sorry about the old glare and the old gigs there. I've got the bins on because I'm going to read you a story. No, not a bedtime story. I know it's getting late now, I know it is. But as part of our All Against William Hill series, it might be William Hill Part 3, Part 4, Part 5, I'm not so sure. I've got a couple of stories to read you that various subscribers or followers or people that have just stopped and looked in have left in the comment section. And I know not all of you read all the comments. Well, I read everything and see where we're at. And I've got 3 or 4 that I think are worth listening to. Now, let me say this. The first video we put out on Saturday, it's gone viral by my standards. That's not viral, but about 30,000 in it. That's a lot for me. I think it's now at my most watched video. I think it was number 2 for a few days, behind the one that I'm probably more known for. But I don't get the way this YouTube like works. I mean, they push things. I know the more thumbs up you get and the more comments, they push it. I know that. But this got pushed a lot at the start and was seen by about 10 or 12,000. And then it died a death for 2-3 days. And then it's going again. And I don't know how it works or why. And the thing is, we've done a daily video since. And they're all being well watched. They're being watched by 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, which is great. But I don't understand why they're not being watched by as many. I'm guessing it's because for all many of you have subscribed, and I'm grateful for that, I really am. I think you're not clicking that notifications bit. If you click the notifications bit, it lets you know when I'm uploading videos and what they are. And what I would suggest you look for is anything to do with bookmakers, but also look for the scores on the doors. The scores on the doors are all about online tipsters and bookmakers, sometimes all rolled into one. We did one yesterday, one video about online tipsters and bookmakers. I've done one about online tipsters tonight. It went out about half an hour ago from when you're going to see this. And this is now one about bookmakers, primarily William Hill. There's been loads of traction about William Hill, people watching it, but loads have put comments. And I think more are disappointed and unhappy with William Hill than most any other bookie. When I read you these stories in a minute off my phone, you'll understand why. They're horrendous, some of them. It's just, it beggars belief a little bit, it really does. Wrong glasses on. Let's get the right glasses so I can read it even better. Are they the right glasses? The other ones were the right glasses. I don't know what I'm doing, folks. I don't know what I'm doing. I surprise myself sometimes about how thick I am. I really am. But yeah, I'll read you these things. But what I would say is do that on the notifications. What you'll always get, if it's about bookies primarily, it'll be under the banner of a bookie. But sometimes it'll just say Britain's Grumpiest Old Gate. You'll get a blank screen, no pictures, just Britain's Grumpiest Old Gate. You know that's something to do with horse racing. But what I will ask of you, if you can, folks, I asked it on the first one on Saturday, and I think lots of you did this. I think not only did you give a thumbs up, and you've still been giving them, which I appreciate, but I think many of you shared the videos with folk that you know. If there's anybody that you know that any of these stories will be of interest to, share the video, because the more that's it, the better. Now, let me say this, folks. I do get paid now, I'm monetised. I have got paid for that video that went out on Saturday. I've got more for that one video than any other video I've ever done. But it's not going to break the bank. It's 2 figures, it's not in 3 figures, and it'll never get to 3 figures, so don't worry about that. I'm not asking for this, folks, to get more money out of YouTube. I'm trying to get some kind of even bigger community here on the racing side of things, so we can swap stories and we know what these bookmakers are up to. And maybe from that, some of us can maybe make informed opinions of who we do or don't want to bet with. You know, as I said to somebody today or yesterday now, wouldn't it be brilliant? I mean, I'm never going to get it, but if I could get like 1 million people on there, we're never going to get it. I'm not expecting that one, but I won't say I don't want it, but it'll never happen. But if we could get 1 million people and have this thing between us where we said, I tell you what, we're not going to bet for 1 week now or 2 weeks. None of us. Let's all, hands in the pot, we say, hands in the pot, those that are going to be on board. It'd be a big pot with 1 million hands in there. We're all not going to have a bet now for 1 full week. Imagine how we do at the bookies that. It would kill them. The end of year profits really would suffer from 1 week without 1 million people having a bet. It really would. Obviously, we're never going to get that. It's never going to happen. But something like that, I think, is going to be the only way we're ever going to win. Because they just do not care about us. They walk all over us. Everything's designed for themselves. Nothing is designed for us. What we're 4 minutes in. These will only take 2 minutes to do, folks. It won't be as long as some have been in the past. I've got about 4 stories that came through in the last 24 hours. I thought I'd read them to you. They're all on my phone here, so all I need to do is look for my gallery. I've got the right glasses on, and this time I might read them better than I did last night. Right, let me read them. Right, this first one is from Adam. They're in no particular order. This is about Willie Mills, I think. I had an account with them for 14 years. They blocked my account 2 days ago because of a routine security check. I have £550 in the account and I can't access it. When I asked how long it would take, they couldn't tell me. It's his bloody money. 550 quid, he's been with them for 14 years, he can't get his money. I asked them to just close the account and return the money. They said they couldn't until I had sent proof and ID, etc. 14 years with the same account, and all of a sudden I'm locked out and I can't get my money unless I verify myself. I've sent documents, my account is now closed, and they still can't tell me when I'll get my money back. An absolutely rotten company. He's been with them 14 years. They closed his account for no reason. He can't draw his money out. To draw his money out, they ask for verification after 14 years. And then when he sends it, they still can't tell when he's going to get it. Now, he's probably going to get it in the end, but that's not the point. If you give me your money and it's always your money and you've not used it, I've got to give it you back. How can they? It's just unbelievable. Let's go with a couple of others. This is from Mark. William Hill sent a letter to the Barnsley shop, Peel Square, about himself, saying he's to be barred from all William Hill shops in the country. He's not allowed to enter shops, all his bets will be void, and he can't talk to family or friends of William Hill employees. After betting for over 30 years with them, he says. And he says they barred him. Now, I don't know if I'm going to read this right, but I'll do my best. Because his greyhound called Mark My Words won the summer stayers at Monbor at 16-1. They then barred him around 2013. And they barred him because he couldn't give them proof of income. But he said IBAS, or the Gambling Commission, will not say that this. No, he's been to IBAS and he's probably got his money in the end, but IBAS and the Gambling Commission won't commit and say that this is unfair trading from themselves. He said it doesn't surprise me. He said because he's watched something from Bet365 about Pat Cooney. He's the promotional guy at Bet365, the face of Bet365. He said Pat Cooney admitted on Racing Post TV that they sack all winning punters. All they do is keep the losing customers now. That's how they make the money. Any winning punters they get rid of, losing companies to keep. That's what Pat Cooney's saying at Bet365. This is based on what Mark's telling me. I've not heard that interview. I'm surprised he said that on Racing Post TV, but he may well have done. He says companies are doing this. This is Mark's. Companies are doing this without having their license took off them. He said they should have the license took off them because they're not trading fairly. They shouldn't be able to treat people like that. He said in any other business you wouldn't get away with that. He said they're all acting like criminals, and you can't disagree with that one. 2 more to go, folks. Only 2 more. This has come from Lily. I think it's a gent though, but anyway, Philip, he says, I used to bet with William Hills in their shops and I couldn't say a word against them. Fantastic service and never a problem in 30 years. Well, except for the time when I should have won about £2,000 on a dual forecast, only to discover that a week earlier they had changed their rules, whereby they would only pay a maximum of 1.5 times the straight forecast. That cost me about 1,400 quid, but it was their new rules. It was just my luck that I had to find out the hard way. He said, but now to their online service, he said, it's a pile of shite. He said, they closed my account because I hadn't had a bet with them for 6 weeks. They just closed the account, did not heard from him. It took me forever to get them to reopen it, and then 2 weeks later, it was closed again. I've got anti-post bets on the football season with these clowns, and all I can see for the way ahead is problems. So they've closed his account. He's got anti-post bets running. And he's thinking, well, they've closed my account. I'm going to get my money out. I would have said to you, Lily, I'm surprised you put any more bets on, and I'm surprised you didn't leave them much earlier. Once they close an account the first time, I won't be trying to fight to get it back open. I'd be looking at betting elsewhere because they are criminals. They might not wear the old mask, but they're very Dick Turpinish. And here's the last one. The last one is from Adam. I'm guessing he's done the same as me. He says, I'll know in a minute. He says, I did the same thing with, this isn't Willie Bill. I did the same thing with PokerStars Sportsbook. I placed I placed a bet to place in the top 2. So it was a special bet where he's betting on us to finish in the top 2. He said, and the eventual winner of the race wasn't listed in any market. Halfway through the race, I clocked that there was an extra horse, and it ended up tanking up, until the last 100 yards. It won, and then his horse finished third. He said, so his horse finished third in the race. The one that wasn't listed in the race absolutely hosed up, so he came third. But there was one that wasn't listed in the race when he put the bet on. So really that should be voided, that horse, and he should have come second. Bear with me a sec. I spoke to live chat and I said the market is obviously void as the winner wasn't included. And I should get my stake back. He should get his money back as well. The managed stake, he won. I was told that unless I had a screenshot, they wouldn't believe me. As the trader said, the winner was available for betting. So because he couldn't provide a screenshot to show that it wasn't listed there, they couldn't pay him out. Because the trader said it was always listed. I closed my account that day, which I'd held for 17 years, and that was it. He said, I've played significantly higher stakes over the years, but that one did my head in. He said, they've got absolutely no integrity, and it well pisses me off. And I think he also put in a further message. He said, I'll tell you now, if my horse had won the race, and the one that was voided come second, they would have said, you can't have that bet because there was an issue with the race. The horse that had come second was the horse that came from nowhere that wasn't shown on the screen. They would have probably said if his bet was a winning bet, we can't pay it out. There was an horse that didn't show on the screen that was actually in the race. They wouldn't have paid him out because that's the way they work. But although the horse wasn't shown initially and it won, had it not been there, he would have come second and not third, so he should have won. They're saying it was in there. So they just want it all ends up. They want it to suit them. If you win, they'll find a way of not paying you. If you lose, but you should have won, they'll find a way of not paying you. Basically, what they try to do is find a way of not paying you. And that's what they tried to do to me at the weekend. And again, lastly, I've said it 3 or 4 times now, I did get paid in the end. It's in a second or third video. I've said that in a second or third video. I put it a few times in comments. People say, well, I hope you get your money. I hope you've got paid, or you should go here, you should go there. I keep writing in comments, I have been paid and blah, blah. And then sometimes I just don't write it because it's wearing. I keep, but the videos I've said I got paid. But the whole thing was a joke. As I say, 70 minutes on live chat. Nobody knows what they're talking about. Absolutely thick. But more importantly, they passed me, a live chat employee passes me to a supervisor, and he knows less than the original people. And the original people know bugger all. And I'm thinking, how on earth can you have a supervisor supervising people who know nothing, and he knows nothing himself? Just absolutely crazy. You couldn't write it, but it's happening. And it's happening all over. This live chat is a joke. Until people go back to phones, it's never going to get any better. It's crazy. And I don't feel people will ever go back to phones. Right, that's where we are. That's 4 I thought I'd like to read to you. Any more complaints about any bookmakers at all, let me know in the comments. The ones that I feel are particularly good, we will read out. And as I've said, if anybody wants to come on the email and email me, you can do. If anybody wants to come on the channel and talk about them, you can do. I have got an email off a gentleman last night that I'm really interested in having a good look at. I've not looked at it properly, and I'm going to look at it over the next couple of days, and I'm going to get back to him. He actually wants to chat about the email. I don't know whether he wants to chat on here or just to me, but I'll pursue that over the next couple of days. I've just been too busy with work, and we've had a bit of a big, I can't think what the word is. Something happened today that cost me about 3 hours. I mentioned it on an earlier video. A bit of an emergency that I had to attend to, and I've lost 3 hours today, so I'll never get that back. But hopefully this weekend I'll be able to speak to that gentleman who sent me the email. So if you're watching, sir, and you say you're watching now, I will be getting back to you. Don't you worry about that. Anyway, that's it for me for tonight. It's now, oh God, it's 9:30 at night. You're going to get this about 10:15, 10:30. It's been a late one, folks.